so much to this story. What tripped me out was how quick they were to rush out and tell us that what we saw,
Amen,
we didn't see.
Amen.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
And that to me is textbook authoritarianism. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's not about even trying to make you believe. This is, no, we're going to dictate your reality. Your perception of reality, we're going to tell you what it is. No, that didn't happen. This is what happened. That's why, it was, as soon as I saw Kristi Noem go out there and do that, I was like...
It wasn't only Kristi Noem, it was every single one of them, the entire administration. Now they're walking it back because they see that we have camera footage and we can see this like blatant, disgusting, heinous act that transpired, and there's no way. And he's also seeing his own base react to it.
Yes.
And going, like he's seeing January 6ers go out there and saying, this is horrendous, you cannot do this to people. And once you see them turn on on Trump.
This is a textbook American. This guy was a nurse for veterans.
VA nurse.
His right to bear arms, concealed carry permit.
He had a permit to carry.
Everybody, and it's funny, and I had to think about this, right? Everybody's like, oh, he was at a protest, Who said he was at a protest?
But why can't you be at a protest?
But you can be. But who said he was? He just looked like he was on the street watching ICE wreck shop on somebody. And so he had his camera out recording them. I didn't see a protest going on. I saw ICE doing whatever they was doing to someone.
Yeah.
He had the cameras out. Then ICE pepper sprays these young ladies, tosses them to the ground. He does what a nurse should do, goes to the aid of the young ladies, then they jump on him. Where was the protest? Everybody keeps saying, oh, he bought a gun to a protest. Even if he did, he had every right to. But I didn't see the protest. I just saw a guy practicing his right to bear arms on a Minnesota street.
So let's assume that he was go out.
I think by the protest, people are talking about people around are trying to make it hard for ICE to... So they have the whistles, they have like a lot of stuff just so it makes it hard for ICE to
raise awareness.
Yeah.
But you should do that.
So that's their form of protesting. That's what
I think it's really important that you bring up the administration's response.
It was disgusting.
And the administration swears an oath. The president, these other people, they swear an oath to
the Constitution,
uphold the Constitution. This guy was exercising 2 of his constitutional rights. Okay?
Right to protest.
Let's assume it's the right to protest. Let's assume he is peacefully assembling and protesting, and the right to bear arms. And when you immediately jump to justifying that act, what you are doing is, in an effort to preserve your own personal power, you are shredding the Constitution in the face of the people. And it doesn't matter where you sit on the aisle. There is one document that is supposed to bind us all as Americans, and that is the Constitution. So I think that's why at its core, there are a lot of people that might have very radical views that are giving incredible pushback on this. And I love seeing it because they are recognizing that this disgusting act of shredding the document that's supposed to bind all of us as Americans. Now we can have little disagreements that we can healthily debate these, how we should, do law enforcement in different cities. We can have these conversations, but in terms of immediately shredding it upon this tragic event and not even looking into it, by the way. It was like immediate reactions without even watching the videos.
No investigation.
No investigation, nothing.
No, I think they saw the videos. I think that
I don't think so.
They might have seen it. Had to see the video.
Sure. They might have seen it, but instead of going, hey, we need to investigate this further, talk to the different officers, see exactly what happened, and honor the constitutional rights of that man, because anybody who watches this video understands that I don't think he's doing anything illegal from watching this video at all.
He wasn't doing anything illegal at all. And the fact that they disarmed him, because they show you that in the video, they took his pistol off him and then shot him.
Yeah.
What's the point of this?
Yeah.
What's the point of this? And this is what happens when you have people on the job who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They're inexperienced, they're undertrained, right? And that's the thing about ICE. It's like a lot of these guys are taking a big bonus and they're doing like 6 weeks of training, and then they don't know how to de-escalate situations. I was talking to Alex, who was in law enforcement, about this first, and it's like the first thing
Alex
that you guys...
who?
This is
Right
Alex Media.
You was in law enforcement?
Yeah, he was a court officer
you
for
did
years.
know this.
I did not know he was
Yes,
a
you
fucking law
did.
I
enforcement.
would come record the podcast in uniform.
He thought you were being professional.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You were a cop?
No, sorry. Court officer.
Like a bailiff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you went over
Say
this.
court officer like that's some fancy shit.
Nick,
You was
that's
a
what it's
bailiff.
called.
You was,
In
you was
no.
bull from night court.
kossa jag, vi har dem i Sverige också, ja.
No, not a cow. Bull.
Vad var det mig för, va?
In New York, it's,
you was a fucking bailiff.
but you don't remember? It was
No, I don't.
the courts were right across the street from
Yeah,
the
but
old
you wasn't
house.
That's when he got
Streets,
caught.
man.
Were you in Sweden at that
You
time?
ain't get no action. What could Alex tell you
It's
about
not-
this situation?
I'm not saying that I had action.
He got injured
No.
on the job,
Yeah.
action. He got injured on the job.
When in Switzerland, when he tried to fight
No,
another
no,
No,
In
that
the
was
courtroom.
Sweden, by the way.
What?
But in the court.
in the courtroom.
What, somebody tried to jump you? What happened?
Nah,
The judge?
they tried to jump the judge, and we took him down to the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
And they didn't shoot. Oh, did you shoot him?
Nope.
And kill him right there? Or did you de-escalate the situation?
De-escalated the situation.
Right.
Tore my knee in the process.
Charlamagne doesn't believe you.
He was eating off that disability, bro. He
But
was
what-
eating off that
I
disability.
believe it.
Yeah.
But I thank you for your service, Alex.
Thank you.
Man,
Thank
shut
you.
up.
I know.
I hate this
I know.
man.
Dave. You want to be a dick for?
Yo,
What?
people
I
like
can't
you
do
really
that.
turn thank you for your service to bless your heart.
I can't.
I'm going to pray for you. That's what you turn that shit into.
I do thank you for your service. But what did he say about what did you say, Alex? What did you say about this situation?
It's just that we're trained that the first thing you should do is de-escalate the situation. You should never try to escalate the situation. And clearly, all of them are escalating this situation. The training is horrible.
Look,
I did 6 months of training. They're doing 47 days because this is the 47th.
Yo, I saw
thing.
Amy Klobuchar on the Sunday News. She said that they do 47 days of training
Yeah,
because,
that's real.
because Trump
he's
is the 47th
47th
president.
president.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes, disgusting. And look, I know I had Trump on the podcast, and I'm aware.
Stop explaining that. Man.
No, but let me just clarify, because I think it is important to say. Like, I know how I had him on the podcast, and when I'm talking out about this, I'm not doing it to get people to be like, oh, he's a good guy or whatever like that, or trying to get anybody on my side. I understand that this is a horrific event that happened. I objectively want to talk about it. I'm not trying to win anybody over in this.
You understand? You know the difference between right and wrong.
There's a difference between right and wrong, and there's a difference between respecting and honoring the Constitution, the backbone of our country, and then completely shredding it. And this is completely shredding it. And now they're realizing that people have noticed it, and now they're trying to backtrack it. But
By the way, he's been wiping his ass with the Constitution.
Sure,
Like,
and
I've been on record a million times saying when he said we should terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election, shit like that got to be disqualifying if you're running for president.
so here's a perfect example. So it's I know that there are people sounding the alarms about this. When I saw these last few weeks in Minnesota, I didn't think it was possible to happen in the United States of America. I'm being 100% serious.
To white people,
No, to anybody.
but
Now,
you've seen it happen to black people.
Exactly.
Yes, to white people.
It's okay to say that.
No, I'm just
it
joking.
is.
No.
But it's okay to say that.
I don't. I mean, I didn't know that this was possible to happen in the United States of America. And when I'm specifically talking about with this situation here, and not only this one, but also what we've seen ICE doing, entering homes without warrants, arresting people.
Unconstitutional.
It is unconstitutional. And they've done this weird thing where they have a federally administrative warrant, which is some bullshit. It doesn't even allow you to actually have access into a home. Yeah, they're trying to find ways around the system. And what that says to me, when you're willing to shred the Constitution to preserve it's not only your power, but your ideas of what should happen, it is incredibly un-American.
That's the fourth amendment. First, second, fourth amendment.
The fourth is the one about entering somebody's
Yes.
home. Yeah. So it's I just think it's an important thing to speak out against. I just think it's horrific.
Lauren LaRosa, she interviewed Derek Johnson. He's part of the NAACP. And he was saying the problem with ICE is that there's no names, they're not identified. You don't even know when an unfortunate situation like this happened. You don't even know who the person shot them. You don't have any names or nothing. We don't know that they're even agents.
I thought Ice-T's perspective was very interesting.
What do you say?
Ice-T said that there's going to be a civil war. But he said the civil war is going to be between local law enforcement
And ICE?
and ICE agents. He said that it's inevitable because of what, even Taylor is saying. Like, you don't know who these people are, right? And at some point, a line has to be drawn in the sand. Because if stuff like this is happening, if you took an oath to protect and serve the civilians of this place, and these people are acting like thugs and acting like goons, then you gotta react as
They
such.
arrested a guy, there's a video of it, because he has an accent. And the guy arresting him, the ICE officer, also had an accent. And the guy called him out on it. He was like, you got a fucking accent. What the hell are you doing? And the guy ends up having like legal status here. But this type of behavior happening in America, I just didn't think it was possible. I thought, and I heard people sounding the alarms. I thought that our institutions and our Constitution could hold up. I didn't think that it would be infringed upon.
But you have to have people who care to hold up.
And that's the question, is like, who's going to end up doing that? So what you're saying is that local law enforcement is going to end up doing that, and they're going to be pushing back against ICE.
Yeah,
and you would also, I would imagine, would hopefully go, like, there might be people in ICE going, hey, what we're doing is unconstitutional, and we cannot continue to behave this way.
Whenever you have a political movement that has been as anti-democratic as Trump and MAGA have been, you're going to get pushback culturally, institutionally, legally. That's what you should hope for.
Yeah.
Like, when we see things like this in America, we should hope that immediately everybody's like, fuck no.
Well, that's what
this can't happen. And it should be enough pressure put on the administration that the administration backs the fuck off, which is what I think we're kind of seeing now. We're kind of seeing now.
But it's interesting because I think you see a lot of the Trump sycophants out there that are just defending it no matter what. And I think they're starting to realize, oh shit, not even the Trump administration is going to stand behind this. And now I'm about to be out there in the cold.
What the fuck does that mean?
Like the
Trump sycophant. What's that?
The Trump ass kissers. They're like, whatever Trump says, we do. I don't believe in any principles, and I don't believe in the Constitution.
Tell them you're not one of them, Schulz.
No, I mean, I think that anybody who listens to this show knows that I'm not one of them. I mean, specifically with immigration, when he was on the pod, we pushed back against. Like, my feeling on immigration is, like, I think any illegal that's already here should be given a pathway to citizenship as long as they haven't committed any crimes.
I think most people are on board with deporting any illegal that has committed a crime.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's bipartisan support of that. I think the tricky thing comes, and honestly, I have empathy. Like, you're a business owner.
Yeah.
There's been people, I'm not trying to out you, but like, there's been people I'm sure that might not have had like legal citizenship that have maybe worked in various businesses.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, I've definitely been taken care of as a kid by people that weren't legal, babysitters and stuff. So there are people that maybe would like a path to citizenship that I have a lot of empathy for.
You have to start with the criminals.
I agreed.
Okay, Look,
But maybe we can.
It's very tough.
Maybe we can open our hearts a little bit to the people who are trying to be, good, hardworking Americans.
And
now, some people will be like, "Oh, coming here illegal is a crime." That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having committed any crimes, haven't gone to jail, haven't done these things. And that's how I personally feel. Now, you might feel like you want all illegals gone. You might feel like you want strong borders. Like, all these things are okay to feel, but the way to do it is not this way. The way to do it is not to erode American values. I think that we can all agree on that.
Unless it's not about immigration ultimately.
Well.
Which is my concern.
Not even not about immigration. I want to get specifically but like,
there's oil in Minnesota?
No. No. What I'm saying here right now is specifically is like, the second ICE does something horrible, they go out and throw out these breadcrumbs. They're like, but look, we arrested this pedophile. We arrested this murderer. We arrested this. And then I looked into the numbers, and we're talking about in flagrant. It's like less than 5% of the people that they've deported are actual criminals.
Yeah.
So, and then 75% are just long-standing residents here that are here undocumented, right? So what I think they're doing is using this thing of security as a smokescreen so they could just blanket deport and harass not only illegals, but also American citizens.
That's the best case scenario.
The worst case is
this is a test run for the elections.
And he'll shut shit down.
Shut down.
It's going to be very hard to do I thought about that too, Chris. It's going to be very hard to do state to state. You got a lot of states that are going to be protected against stuff like that. Like, it's going to be hard to do in Governor Shapiro's Pennsylvania, hard to do in Westmore's Maryland, hard to do in Pritz's Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Hard to do in
Minneapolis, Minnesota,
Sherrill's Jersey, in Walls' Minnesota. It's going to be hard to do in state to state.
But they're testing it.
Yeah.
They're seeing how this is received, how it goes down, what's effect. I mean,
they know this ain't going to work, though. I was on Fox News Sunday morning. I forgot who it was, but they were having the panel, and the guy was saying how, number one, This is time for, and he was a Republican. He said, it's time for everybody to start calling Trump out.
Yeah.
This is not sustainable. This is not going to work. And then he said, when you see these large amounts of protesters, 20,000 people showing up to cities,
right?
They don't have enough ICE agents to contain shit like that.
Exactly.
But I see something like there's a part of it that's flown under the radar a bit. Like I think his name is Josh Thompson. He was the prosecutor in Minnesota who led the investigation into the Somali daycare stuff. So he's been on top of that. And he led that and he investigated. He got all the, I don't know if they're, indictments or whatever it is. He resigned this week. And the reason, and 6 other prosecutors, and the reason they resigned is the Trump administration ordered them to investigate the wife of Renee Good, who was shot in the first incident for alleged ties to domestic terrorist groups, right? When you see something like that, when you see these guys who have led the investigations and they resign en masse and they're forcing them to go after the wife of a victim who's killed, it's not about immigration. It's about intimidating people. It's about going after political opponents. It's about trying to shut shit down.
Everything we knew that he was going to do. What about the voter roll shit?
And why does he want the voter rolls from Minnesota? Why did they basically float a deal being like, hey, if you give us this,
what are the voter rolls?
It's the records of the people who vote, which generally aren't shared publicly, right? So it's like your address, whatever information.
So he knows who's who now.
Who's registered which way. And maybe now he goes through it and says...
What would their argument be for... I mean, this is one argument being...
The argument is that there's concerns about the validity of the election. So
voter fraud, right? Yeah.
So we need to see everybody on this roll.
And make sure that they're like a living human being.
It's an intimidation tactic, right?
I honestly think the issue is the quotas, because Trump ran on mass deportation. And he put these crazy quotas in terms of how many illegals that they want out of here. And so at first he wanted to start with, hey, we'll go after the criminals. And you see that the numbers aren't as high as he thought they would be. And so now he's like, yo, I don't care what you have to do. Let's get everybody out. Because that's what happened in New York when they wanted to bring crime down, and then they started doing stop and frisk, and they were violating everybody's right. I got pulled over all the time. Well, I mean, and I think this is just a version of that.
Other presidents have deported people in mass numbers, and it didn't look like this.
Yeah, but he's trying to get record numbers in his first year.
It ain't about getting. I mean, to me, it's not. It wouldn't be about getting record numbers. It's about getting the right
people out.
Yeah, but we're talking about Trump.
I understand what Alex is saying. What you're saying is the right thing to do, and Alex is saying what they're trying to do. And they're going after these numbers so they can... I think they think the base is going to really support that.
Yeah.
But I think if they see that this is the cost of those record numbers, there's going to be immense pushback. I think and that's at least what I hope. That's what I see online right now. I see a lot of pushback. Now, an interesting thing that's happened, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but did you see how like TikTok just got transferred to U.S. ownership?
Yep.
And did you see how immediately
they
started
ICE and all that
throttling
shit
any ICE content? And when I mean throttling, I mean down to zero. Like I know there are people like political creators that are on TikTok and Instagram, and I've seen them get 0 views on videos. 0 views on videos about ICE, and then videos that don't have anything to do with it, they'll be getting millions of views. That, if you could make the argument, if you could prove that there is some sort of collusion, that's state-censored, that's state censorship, right? Like,
this is what authoritarianism looks like.
Yes. All of this is textbook
unregulated, guys in the street with guns and masks and no identification, state sponsored.
Door to door, no need a warrant, forced entry.
This is why it's an important moment to speak out, to go. I've been going to protests. I can't be a hypocrite. I wouldn't advise bringing a gun to a protest, even if that is your constitutional right.
So that's the tricky thing. It's like,
I don't think that's smart.
What we would all advise what we would all advise to our friends and family and our kids. Like I would tell my kids, hey, always comply with the officers because I want to see them come home. But the cost of not complying shouldn't be death. It's not comply or die in America. That's not how things work here. And officers are trained, and taxpayers spend a lot of money to train these officers so that they can de-escalate the most tense situations so that we don't have deaths like Alex Pretti's. And clearly ICE doesn't have the interest in doing it, or in worst case scenario, has been given the green light to police.
They have been given the green light.
It's so crazy. I mean, I'm glad that this conversation is happening, but this is the same conversation that people have been trying to have since Eric Garner. You know what I mean? Since the 90s with Rodney King when he just got beat up.
And that must be frustrating. That must be incredibly frustrating. Yeah.
But there was something else you just said that made me think, the gun thing, man. This is America.
Exactly.
I'm from South Carolina.
You take your gun wherever the fuck you want.
You see guns and people got their gun on them in Starbucks.
Yep.
People got their gun on them in Dunkin' Donuts. I always thought that was strange. Like, why the fuck you gotta have your gun in Dunkin' Donuts? You can go down south and literally it'll be a sign on the door that says, "Don't bring your concealed weapon in here." They have to tell you not to do it. There used to be certain clubs or establishments you would go in. They were checking their guns at the door like coat checks.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, why can't he have his gun on his waist?
Yeah, I know.
Walking down the street of Minnesota.
Trump is coming for your guns, guys.
Isn't that crazy?
So here's an interesting thing, right? Is like, first of all, like, yeah.
Yo, when the NRA speaks out against the Trump administration,
Crazy.
The NRA says that these people are bugging. The Gun Owners Association are like, pull up those quotes from that. This shit was crazy.
That's more respect for the Constitution. Now, we can disagree about some of the rights that are given to Americans in the Constitution and how much freedom they should have, but simply saying that you shouldn't be able or allowed to carry one is ridiculous, especially when you're saying teachers should have them in the classrooms. Like, these are the same people going, hey, their school shooting teachers should have, we got to give teachers more guns. And now when this guy who is protesting has a gun, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be walking around with that thing on you.
Look, the NRA has joined other U.S. gun lobby groups in calling for a full investigation by the Trump administration into the killing of Alex Pretti in Minnesota. Comments from the NRA come after a border agent fatally shot Pretti, registered nurse at a veteran hospital fair. Where's the quote at? The NRA labeled a suggestion by a federal prosecutor that people who carry guns risk being lawfully shot by officers as dangerous and wrong. Responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigation, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens, the NRA said in the statement. That's the NR fucking A.
Crazy.
But they got to say that. It's not crazy. They got to say that.
But they never speak out. Think about it.
It's crazy that they're speaking
Philando
out.
Castile got killed. NRA didn't say nothing. Right? Like, there's like, who else? It was another gun. Philando was the one I remember the most because he was a licensed gun owner and he had it on his seat and he told the officer he had it and where it was and everything. I think it was in the glove compartment where it was supposed to be and he ended up still getting shot for some reason. And everybody was like, NRA, say something, say something, say something. They never said
Let's
nothing.
be real. They're shooting white people now.
You know that, Chris.
That's what's going on.
Yep.
I just don't want to be the guy to say it because I'm black.
Right.
It sounds like, oh, yeah, of course you're going to say that. Say it, Chris.
So
say it, Schultz.
So
white
I think the tricky thing here is like, do you go, should we not care because we didn't care before? Or is this an eye-opening moment for a lot of America?
I don't care what gets people to care. I hate when people say that this ain't our issue. I'm like, nah, fuck all that.
Exactly.
It's been our issue. So why is it not our issue now?
Now,
we're all Americans at the end of the day.
Two things can be true. You could be frustrated as fuck that people weren't seeing it like this when it was happening to you guys. Right. And now all of a sudden people are speaking out. Now all of a sudden the NRA is making statements. Now all of a sudden the Republican Party is pushing back against Trump. That's incredibly frustrating. I get that.
Bro, now's when you go for the dunk.
But this.
Because now you might can get some shit done for real. Now, now there might be some comments on gun reform. But even though to me, this isn't even an issue about gun reform. This is why these situations go all off the rails, because this isn't about gun reform. This is about a law enforcement agency abusing their power.
Yo, when you
at the behest of an administration.
When you see what ICE is doing, right? Is there a little part of you that understands why the founding fathers wanted us to have the right to bear arms?
Yes, that's the whole point of the Second Amendment.
To protect yourself against a militia like this.
Right? This is
from an authoritarian. They wouldn't have used that language at that
they would
time.
say tyranny.
Tyranny, a king, whatever.
Protect yourself against tyranny.
Right.
Was it the mayor or the police chief of Minnesota who said something like, we could, I forgot how you worded it, but see if we could find it. He was like, we could intervene, but their guns are bigger than ours. Was it the mayor or the police chief of Minneapolis?
I don't remember who says.
But I think the question that you're getting to, which I'm not have not wholly answered yet, is like, you're basically asking, can our cops arrest them?
Yeah.
From a legal perspective, yes. From a practical perspective, to state the reality, yeah, it does get kind of hard when they drastically outnumber us and they have bigger guns than we do.
Not only their guns are bigger, they're more of them. Yeah, I think
that's right.
Minneapolis
like
has 600 cops.
Yeah.
There are 4,000 or 5,000, I think, is the number of ICE agents. It's an invasion.
I'm curious. I think you may have your gun license in Jersey. Does this make you hesitant about possibly carrying your gun? Because like now this situation escalated because they saw his gun.
I can't carry. I wish I could be Sean Hannity and walk around here with my pistol all through East New York streets. You know what I'm saying?
Because like this got me thinking. I'm in the process of getting my concealed carry permit in New York. Like I have it in LA, but I don't have it here. And it's like that situation. I think that escalated because they saw the gun. One of the law enforcement yelled, "Gun, gun, gun," and then another one just got scared and started shooting.
I think the guy pulled it away and then accidentally
shot it. Yeah,
I saw a video where
But,
they haven't confirmed that, but I saw that video where like the guy who removed the gun might have accidentally discharged,
right?
And then the other guys heard a gunshot and they started firing.
By the way, can we talk about that? There's one thing about that video. When a gunshot went off, one of those ICE agents ran off so cowardly.
No.
Like he
had the gun in his head.
That's the one who had the gun, but he ran off like
that's
like he ran off like oh my God, they're shooting.
That's kind of protocol.
That is protocol.
You have to get the gun as far away from the incident.
Because if you're still involved in the tussle, maybe the person could get the gun again. Yeah,
he just looked scared to me.
He's just
and especially if you know it's your guy shooting, unless he didn't know where the shot.
But you don't know in the moment.
You don't know if the guy had another gun.
Yeah, this is. But you don't. You don't go there. And I think, look. Again, I can't be hypocritical. I don't think you go to a protest, even if it's your legal right.
Because why do we keep saying protest? Where was the
He was there. He was there.
He was on the sidewalk recording ICE while, like it's like you walking down the street right now.
He was an observer. But I've gone to these things. I don't carry a gun, but I carry something with me all the time. I don't bring it.
Chopsticks.
Nunchucks. Nunchucks. You know it's nunchucks. Why would you say chopsticks?
I know, that was better. Yeah.
You know it's nunchucks. This guy, man. Okay, but you carry something with you.
I didn't take it with me when I went to the ice thing.
You said you what?
I didn't bring it with me when I go to the ice thing. Because I know there's a chance there's going to be...
That's your right to make that decision.
Right.
But what he's doing is not legal and should be supported by the Constitution.
It's not illegal.
And by the people that are part of the government that are upholding it and swearing to uphold it. It should not be immediately dismissed, and we should not be gaslit into thinking that he's blamed for it.
Right.
I don't think he was at a protest, and I want us to stop saying that.
Like the advice here.
You shouldn't get caught up on it.
So here's the thing about the
I know, I'm going to tell you why that's a very important caveat. Number one, if he was even at a protest, it's fine. He can have it because it's his right. Yo, Kyle Rittenhouse tweeted out, "Carry everywhere. It is your right."
Right.
Kyle Rittenhouse. But to me, this guy was on the street. He saw ICE. We all been seeing how ICE gets down. He got his phone out. People are whistling. He's recording just to make sure no bullshit happens. And then bullshit happens.
Yeah.
The fact that he's just walking down the street with his gun is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like people keep saying he was at a protest. Where's the protest? Where's the protest? I don't see no signs. Where's the protest?
They're saying he carried a gun to attack ICE or something.
So why didn't he use it?
That's where the administration is done, because they came out with that bullshit so quickly.
Oh my God.
He's a terrorist. He was looking to shoot the...
He's a nurse.
And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, you see, Stephen Miller, this guy...
What did that little scumbag
say?
He's
the bottom of the barrel.
What did he say? What was his exact statement?
He's a domestic terrorist. They're trashing this guy's name. He approached them with a gun. I mean, come on.
They're going to flip on all of them. Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, all of them.
They got to go now.
Authoritarian regimes are not loyal to anyone.
No, he'll toss them out.
Yes.
But for the fact that they even tried it.
I mean, but that's the most interesting thing, right? Like, I don't think authoritarianism will ever take over in America. I just don't think that's the way America is designed. But I do feel like all of this is a necessary evil, sadly, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we can't go backwards. None of us can unsee what we saw. I don't know what the world is going to look like after Trump, but I think we all know how fragile our democracy is. I think we know that this whole system has been a house of cards. I think we can finally see so many different inequalities that exist from class to race to now even demonizing what side of the aisle you choose to be on. America's not going backwards. Whatever we make after this has to be something that's way more bulletproof than what we got right now. Because clearly none of this shit is bulletproof. Not the Constitution, not the Bill of Rights. None of this shit is bulletproof, clearly.
I agree with what you said, and you said that America, you don't think can fall into authoritarianism. And I agree with what you said, but I will say that this was a breaking point for me in the way that the administration responded to it. Like, I didn't think what's happening right now with ICE could happen in America. I genuinely did not think that was possible. I thought I thought the Constitution would hold up. When I see it and then immediately defend it, I start to go, we gotta be very loud about this. Like it all of a sudden becomes not like liberal catastrophic thinking. It starts to become very reasonable nuanced criticism of the administration. They have just made the most far left critiques of the Trump administration. Their reaction to this has just justified all of them. In one moment, all of their responses from Trump to Kash Patel, they have justified every single and I know people will probably look at this and be like, they've done a million other things to justify them. Sure, and that's fair. But this specific situation, I think, is a breaking point, and it has justified all those criticisms. I think people's antennas are way up, and people's antennas up that were not up initially.
This is like seeing the Epstein files. Because it's like,
wouldn't it be nice if we got those?
It's like, damn, y'all really been lying to us. Like, damn, like you really been lying to us. Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
A lot of people will say, hey, Andrew, you supported Trump. You screamed.
I didn't support this at all. I've never supported his immigration policy.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You never did support his immigration policy. Last question. Did you not believe Trump would do any of the things that he said he was going to do because you didn't know, or because you believed in the guardrails of America?
I believe in the guardrails of America. And I still do believe in the guardrails of America. And when I see people pushing back against this, joy is a weird thing, but it makes me proud. It makes me happy. When I see people that are conservatives pushing back against this, it makes me happy. It goes, oh, wow, there are some people that aren't just like Trump cultists. There are some people that are right-wing Republicans that will hold him accountable, even if that means that they're going to lose the midterms, even if that means that in the short term, the Republicans might not have the power. They understand that for the next 100 years, America, for it to be successful, has to have a backbone, and that backbone is the Constitution. So that makes me happy. But I am... This to me was a breaking point. That reaction. It's not only, and also seeing, it made me do a real deep dive into like what ICE's like policing tactics are, and then seeing them was, it's just catastrophic. And I hope a lot of other people are in the same boat.
It would have been so easy just to say, as the administration, right?
Yep,
this is wrong.
Well, not even that.
We need to investigate this.
Let's not rush to judgment.
Yes,
let's allow there to be an investigation.
Hard to say that when this is number 2.
Let the system run its course. That would have been so easy to say.
Hard to say that, Chris. We just saw it a couple weeks ago.
The first time, it would have been so easy. That's the playbook, right? Yeah. We know this looks terrible. We have a system. Let the system run its course. When, the investigation's done, they didn't even bother going through the motions. They just went straight to fuck that.
They should have did that. Then they should have investigated these people, and then they should have been consequences to these individuals' actions. Even if you're doing that to bullshit people, because you want to keep doing what the fuck you're doing, at least show the American people.
I think they'll
that there's
do
some
that
type
now.
of
They're going to do a bullshit investigation, and it's going to make it worse because it's impossible to do an investigation on a crime where they already destroyed the crime scene. Nobody stuck around, and it's being conducted by the agency that did it. So what, 7 months from now, a year from now, they're going to release,
where's the accountability?
You didn't see anything here. It's going to set off protests and riots again.
That's why they should let the state handle it, but
they won't do that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do a bullshit investigation, and I'm going to tell you why. I really do believe, and I said this, on Breakfast Club, because, everybody likes to use the 1930s, 1940s analogy, right? Like, oh my God, this is like, what's that shit called? What is it called, Chris?
Gestapo.
And I'm like, well, one thing to remember is the Nazis lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Nazis ultimately lost. Yes, we know all of the death and how tragic it was, but the Nazis ultimately lost. And you know what happened after the Nazis lost? The regime was toppled, and they were persecuted as war criminals. So all of these people that you see now, these ICE agents and the Christy Gnomes and, the Stephen Millers of the world, I hope they know where this is going. And I get it. They're trying it here in this country. But do know when you try those type of tactics, please look at the people whose tactics you're doing. Look at how that story ended for them. Because as I said earlier, you cannot look at a political movement that is anti-democratic anywhere in the world, damn near, that hasn't gotten pushback culturally, institutionally, and legally at some point.
Do not underestimate how much Americans love our freedom.
We, the people, listen.
Do not underestimate that.
There's not a place in the world that is more entitled to freedom than Americans. Hey, they thought that the election was being stolen from them on January 6th. What the fuck did they do? You know what I'm saying?
Not underestimate how much Americans love their freedom and how far they're willing to go to defend it.
And don't underestimate how far the people that believed in you initially, how they will flip when they realize, like, no, you're everything you told us they were.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Trump had some very seductive talking points, saying that he's gonna stop wars around the world and we're gonna stop spending hundreds of billions of dollars and that money is gonna be spent over here. Now you could laugh at it, but there is a version.
77 million people bought into it. That's
And he did a version of it the first term. That's the one thing I'll give him.
Fair.
Right.
So, and I mean, I think that some people would even offer pushback about that. They'd be like, oh, but these other wars escalate, et cetera. But there are certain things, obviously you see the destruction coming out of Gaza. You're seeing dead babies every single day. And you're like, I want that stopped now. I want that de-escalated immediately. So there are certain...
building a 4 seasons in fucking Gaza.
And you bought a place. So
shut the fuck up.
You got $200 million to spend.
Listen, internet.
$200 million to spend.
2 lies back to back he just told. Okay, right? That is not true. Don't run with that. Now people will run with that one.
Justice for the victims of Epstein. Like there are a lot of things that he ran on, right? That were very seductive. That seemed possible. It seemed very doable. And one by one, backtracking on these things that seem possible and doable. I will give him credit for de-escalating Israel-Palestine. Now, obviously, it hasn't been done. There's still people getting killed, but the de-escalation has been significant. What we're seeing now, one by one, the promises not being kept and now complete flip-flops on them, you are going to erode any of the hope that people had that wanted them. And I think this right here is a breaking point simply from the fracturing of the Constitution. Like, if you are a person that believes in the values of America and you see this and then you see the treatment of ICE, even if you don't give a fuck about a single illegal immigrant here, but you see the way ICE is treating people that are legal residents, right? And all you need to do, and Mark brought up to this point, all you need to do is flip the paradigm, because if there was a Democrat in office and they had an ICE-esque enforcement agency going around checking your papers to see if you had a gun, and you kind of just look like you might have a gun, so I'm going to need to see your papers for it, there would be outrage all over the streets about that.
And openly saying that if you have an accident or your skin is a certain complexion, and that's happened in California. They actually passed the law. Or I think it was a law. I think it was a federal law, right? It was 100%. Something in California. Listen.
Can I address one thing that you said, though? With the analogy to the Gestapo and, people having to answer for the crimes in Nuremberg, the whole comparison to the Nazis. I saw some Jewish people online going after that. That's bullshit to criticize that. Mm-hmm. When you make that analogy, that's honoring what happened.
You're evoking the seriousness of the situation.
I was raised as someone who lost, relatives I didn't know, but they're people, I knew my grandparents.
Right.
Their cousins and nieces and nephews died in the Holocaust. We were taught, whenever you see the very hint of this thing start, you speak out against it.
So this is a good example. It's like, I think the term Nazi has been overused. We use Nazi for fucking everything anymore, right? And it's like, so I understand that immediate reaction to be like, why are we watering down what it means to be a Nazi?
Right.
But this Gestapo situation, I think, is different. And when you're seeing the tactics used, and they are mirrored, and I'm sure maybe it was more severe over there. I don't think we need to compare which is worse. But the same tactics, right? Like, I don't think any of us want to live in a country like that. I definitely don't think that we want to live in a country where we're seeing this every single day. But more importantly, we want people to want to come to America. And I think if people saw that, and I'm talking about legally, but we want people to want to come to America legally. And if they think that they're walking down the street with an accent, that they're going to get stopped by a masked guy with no fucking body cam, no name, they might think twice about that.
Y'all ain't never had a driveway full of snow that's 6 feet high, bro, and been rescued by some immigrants. That was amazing.
That's all it took is one snowstorm.
No, I already knew that, but I'm just telling you, thank you to those individuals.
Yeah, well, you should have tipped them.
I should.
That would have been a great thank you.
I didn't have any pesos.
Oh my gosh.
What?